Jerry Ziegler, the Rice Trader, summarizing the November 15th TRT report. As always, it's a great pleasure to be here to spend a little bit of time in the world of rice and to just look at what's going on in the market. Of course, it's been somewhat of an interesting week. In some ways, it's been a little slower than one would expect. We did see obviously many weeks of just active trading, and then really last week with the World Conference, there was a lot of active trading in the Philippines, a lot of Pakistan business, especially down in the Philippines, India business, a little bit of Vietnamese, and mostly the market's kind of paused from the 500,000 ton Bulog tender. You can tell as we look at this market that the Thais and the Viets are not so excited to trade. And you can just see that in the price spread as well. That wasn't where I was going to start, but I think it's a good place to actually move in to what's happening in prices. As we all know, India ended their export ban and prices fell dramatically everywhere. But now it's almost a 2 to 3 tier, maybe 4 tier market even, with India being at the bottom. Although they're up $10 a ton, we still call them at 430. Those probably trades underneath that level for 5%. Pakistan's at 440. That's down 10 on the week. We have seen trades as low as 425. Some players are trying to get ahead of the drop. Big crop coming off. As they get the harvest in, they're trying to sell everything they can, especially pre-Christmas holiday. They're trying to push it out. And so we see a lot of active, and those are the two origins that are really pushing for demand right now. And after that, people are pushing less. I mean, you can see it in Thailand at 480 and Myanmar also, which has been very competitive most of the times at 480. Both were up in the week. Myanmar was up 10. We have Thailand up 15 to 480. So they definitely have come off with some demand on Bulong and other places and just seem to be comfortable. And then you have Vietnam at 425. I mean, they just don't have a great crop. They don't have a great situation. It's clear that they are suffering, and not in the position where they are actively being able to export on pretty heavy bookings of Pulog and old contracts to the Philippines. They're pretty stuffed. So you really have those two tiers of market. You have India, Pakistan selling heavy, Thailand, and Thailand, and also Myanmar, kind of in the middle, and then of course Vietnam off its own way and not really competitive in the market. Then you have the next tier, the fourth tier, the U.S. America's market. The U.S. is still at $800 a ton, just refuses to move downward. But we did see a real crack in the armor there with successive decreases in price in South America last week and this week. We even have some, Uruguay down to 710, which has got them at a $90 discount to U.S. prices. Very significant, very significant to say the least. And so the market is definitely in the process of shifting heavily, shifting towards a cheaper market. But the definite tears in the market are occurring, and you're kind of getting that funky. I mean, in the Philippines, you're in full holiday mode. They really start even September 1st. They start playing Christmas music, but by now, people are starting to have holidays, and they really slow down over the next couple weeks. And by the 15th of December, everybody's going to be out. In fact, I think the rice trader is going to be on holiday in 2 weeks for Thanksgiving and the U.S. holiday, and then we are on for 3 weeks, and then we will be off for a couple weeks for Christmas, New Year's week, and then back after. So just we're feeling the same exact feeling of holidays starting to come in. It's been an active year, booking on old shipments, and that's what we kind of see. I did hear Bulog is talking about doing no or virtually no trade next year. We have been saying throughout the year these tenders were highly manipulated, highly affected, and now they're getting back to normal. Like, why are we bringing in so much? We don't need it. We've had good crops, and that's what I continue to occur. There may probably be another tender or something odd, but there has been some wild action in Indonesia that does not make a lot of market sense and held up these prices from being what they should. With a 34% stock to use ratio, which is what USDA put out their new data showing, they up the Indian crop, not quite to where they need to, but they're getting there. That this crop is huge in the world, and there's just too much. And made worse by, we've said it for a long time. China is not really importing, and that's pushing Pakistan and Myanmar out to find new customers, broken customers, other customers, because they're just not getting the same push that they would get from the Chinese. The Chinese are still buying over 1 million tons, but not the 3, 4 million tons they were before. Plus, China's exporting a couple million tons right now. So they are a net exporter, to say the least. So this rice trader is full of a lot of stuff. It's a very, very large rice trader. It's got the World Conference summary speeches. First part, next part will be next week. It's got a update on the data for, in fact, we got updated data every country, so we had to pull it back. We update on monthly data for Thailand, monthly data for Pakistan, excuse me, monthly data for India. We actually got Pakistan. We'll show next week, and we have the USDA monthly uh, exports, WASI, grains, certified acres, imports, and even more. I mean, it's just an active rice trader this week talking about all the pieces going on. So I think the market is going into a holiday mode. I feel it myself. I have to fight it because I don't get to go into holiday mode. I'm working on several consulting projects, and there's just a lot going on my side. As I was able to do at the World Conference, we announced the U.S. election, and that's pretty much the last and key piece. And it's pretty, I think, good for the world that Trump did win. In my view, I did predict him about 8 months out, and he did have a landslide, and that's important for all of our clients. Trump won with a mandate. He won the Senate, the House, and he won the popular vote and 312 votes for the Electoral College, which was just a massive victory. It wasn't too close to call like it's been in a few elections. It was very distinctive. And you're seeing it in his cabinet appointments. He's going to be very aggressive. You're seeing it as he moves forward. There's a lot of talk who's going to be Secretary of Ag. I have a feeling it's going to be very trade related, which I'm hoping it will be a friend of ours that we know very well. And so we'll see what happens. But Trump is going to affect things. And I said this on stage, and you can expect the following. I think you're going to see much lower price in oil. He's going to push down oil price significantly. Gold and silver will drop. They already started to. You are going to see a move towards less carbon credit type project, less environmental projects. This is going to vastly affect the funding. And again, this is a time when production is vastly, vastly oversupply, vastly or demand. And so you're getting to a place where we don't really want huge productions because the market's not asking for it. The population curve is curved down or curved even to down, and that the efficiency curve, the technology curve is just pushed yields up more and more and more and more. So what I would say is that we're in the midst of a massive shift. Trump will affect everything, trade policy, world governments. He will very likely end the Russian campaign with making a deal. He will do the same very likely for the Middle East. He's not gonna have this continue. He wants a stable world, and he's going to force the parties to get over whatever is happening and find some type of solution. In my view, I think it's not easy in the Middle East. Pretty easy, I think, in the Ukraine conflict. Not nobody will be happy with the compromise, but it'll be a compromise nonetheless. So that's what I kind of see overall. I do see he's going to probably put on tariff restrictions to China very quickly to let him know he's not fooling around and let him see what it's like not to have access to the U.S. market. And they very likely will restrict soybeans, which the U.S. is already prepared for or preparing for. So it's going to be very, very interesting, fascinating market to say the least. New world direction. A lot of people did not expect. They surely didn't expect a mandate, even though that's what we were predicting. And Trump has the helm. I mean, remember, this guy was attempted to be assassinated twice. They tried to put him in jail. They convicted him of a felony, and if he hadn't won, it was an all or nothing proposition. He would have went to jail. They would have taken his fortune. This is not normal U.S. politics, and you can expect now that he's got not just the power but a mandate, there is going to be a change in every possible way everywhere. So I would just watch it closely. The U.S. is continuing to be a very interesting place, very connected to the world. Um, the they call it the most interesting election ever, and I would agree. But you can even hear it in talks I've had this week. It is going to be a massive and utter shift. That is the interesting piece around the world and markets. So I always like to summarize these. I always like to look at the markets, and it's going to be a fascinating time. With that, I just appreciate all of our clients. We thank you for everything. I look forward to talking to you next week. And with that, this is Jeremy Zwinger with the Rice Traders signing out.